Annyeonghaseyo, this is meowmurai, and let's continue our game of 9 Rest in Peace, running on Nintendo Switch 2. 9 RIP. Are there really 9 protagonists? Well, this is, I mean, it's quite a lengthy visual novel if that's the case. The place Hibiki took me was the library.
僕、本が好きなんです。本を読んでいると、その世界に入れるから。それに、いろいろなことを学べます。だから、ここが一番学校で落ち着く場所で、好きな時間を過ごせる場所。
As he spoke, Hibiki held up a book in his hand and began flicking through the pages. The expression on his face was both lively and happy. Do you have a favorite?
たくさんあるんですけど、どんな種類でも読みそんなの無理に決まってます。僕の気持ち分かってますよね。
Ah, I see. Hearing him speak in that slightly dismayed tone reminded me of Hibiki's feelings. I was momentarily taken aback. Sorry.
いえ、僕の方こそ。
Probably best to change the topic. Well, anything else? Fun times or things that made you happy? Memories or... For now, we had to keep looking for things that made Hibiki happy.
思い出か。
He muttered the word and stared off nostalgically.
それなら、あります。
Really? What was it?
それなら、ここじゃない方がいいかもです。ついてきてください。あなたはこっちに。ここ。
I sat in the chair that Hibiki pulled out for me, and he sat opposite me across the desk. It's weird. It's nice to be sitting across from him like this. I wonder if this is what it would be like if the two of us were classmates. The more I got to know Hibiki, the closer I felt to him. I started imagining impossible days with him. And unattainable every day. I shouldn't be thinking about this. As if to shake off my melancholic thoughts, I spoke to him. Hibiki, does your memory have something to do with this classroom?
はい。みんなが帰った後の教室でよくやったんです。こっくりさんを。
Huh? The words were so outlandish coming from him that I unintentionally froze.
こっくりさんです。知りませんか?
Well, yeah, I've heard of it, but... Hibiki, are you into paranormal stuff? That doesn't really seem like you.
そうじゃないんです。僕にとってこっくりさんだけ特別なんです。僕には唯一の友達がいたんです。それがこれ。
Out of his desk, Hibiki pulled a sheet of paper with letters written on it and an old coin. Are those what you need for the spirit board? Hibiki nodded with a smile.
これだけは肌身離さずいつも持っていたんです。だからなのか、亡くなった後も変わらずポケットに入っていて、すごく嬉しかった。
You always kept it with you? You mean you've had it ever since you were alive?
はい。幼い頃お母さんがこっくりさんの紙を作ってくれたんです。これで遊びましょう。こっくりさんよって、お母さんの声が今でも昨日のことみたいに思い出せます。多分友達がいないことを気にして新しい遊びを教えてくれたんだと思います。その時はあくまでも遊びだったので効果はなしで。
When my mom finished writing all the letters out on the paper, she placed her finger on it. Then I put my little hand on the back of hers.
響きに聞きます。明日のお天気は晴れですか?
My mother would ask me that, and I'd think about it for a while before moving her hand. In other words, I was playing the role of the spirit on the spirit board. Then one time I asked my mother why this game was called Spirit Board instead of Hand Board or something like that. That's when she told me.
本当は響きじゃなくてこっくりさんに聞くからよ。
That's when she showed me how to actually use the Spirit Board.
その遊びがとても楽しかったのをずっと覚えていて、両親がいなくなって一人ぼっちになってから、お父さんが渡してくれていた硬貨で実際にやったんです。もちろん今のように教室で。今と違うのは一人で行ったことくらいかな。何度もこっくりさんをやっては彼を呼び出して。
Wait a second. What do you mean him?
びっくりするかもしれませんが、本当にこっくりさんはいるんです。実際僕は何度も彼を呼んでいました。
No way. There was no way I could say I couldn't believe it. I've seen ghosts and met the Grand Warder of Hell. I guess the idea of a spirit in the board doesn't seem too crazy.
でもあることがきっかけで呼び出さないって決めてからは一度も会っていません。
Hibiki spoke with an incredibly lonely expression. I realized I shouldn't press the matter. Are you all right? You just look so lonely. I was worried about you.
また会いたいからかもです。でももう会ったらいけないから。
Then Hibiki smiled warmly at me.
こっくりさんと遊んでいる時が本当に楽しかったんです。人間じゃなくても間違いなく僕の友達だったから。最後彼が言ってくれた言葉は今も胸の中に残っています。
So, not only could you see him, you could actually hear the voice of the spirit too?
最後だけ特別でした。姿が見えて声が聞こえて、強くなれ、お前ならそうなれる、なんたって俺の保証付きなんだからな、そう言ってくれたんです。
Now that he mentioned it, Hibiki was always saying that he needed to become stronger. Was that because of what the spirit told him? Whether it was his parents or the spirit, Hibiki truly cherished the words of the people around him. I felt touched at how their words and actions had shaped him into the person he was.
今はあなたの言葉も胸の中にあります。
Huh? My words? That makes me a little happy. What words?
ここにいるみんなのおかげで強くなれましたっていう言葉。それって僕も含まれてるんですよね。
Of course it does.
ありがとうございます。そう言ってもらえたのがすごく嬉しくて、僕も少なからず役に立てていたんだなってすごく勇気づけられました。
Well, hearing you think that way makes me super happy too. We exchanged smiles from opposite sides of the desk.
そんなあなただから一緒にいると心が穏やかになるし元気になれるんです。
Yeah, me too. If it wasn't for Hibiki, I don't know what would have happened to me. No doubt I had been saved by him.
でもドキドキして仕方ない時もあるんですけどね。あ、悪い意味じゃなくて、その
I thought he seemed rather passive at first, but could at times be quite bold. When he said that to me, I get nervous too. Sometimes you're so bold, Hibiki. So yeah, I get nervous too.
ドキドキしてくれてるんですか？
I mean, you're always saying things like I like you and I get nervous around you. Anyone would get nervous hearing things like that. As honestly as I expressed my feelings to him, I could see Hibiki's expression grow more and more downcast.
そうですよね。嫌でも意識しちゃうというか。うん、その通りです。
I never said I don't want to feel that way.
無理をしなくていいんです。
What I was trying to say was that I wasn't pushing myself, just that what he said made me nervous sometimes. The truth was, I didn't dislike the way Hibiki talked to me. If anything, it made me happy. But I won't tell him that now. I still don't know if these feelings are romantic or not. That was why I didn't want to fully accept or reject his feelings just yet.
思い当たることというか、楽しかった思い出はこれでおしまいです。
As if to change the mood, he spoke up.
ありきたりかもしれませんが、何でもない普段の生活が僕には幸せだったなって思います。でも今はそう思えないというか、それだったらきっととっくに成仏していますから。
Yeah, that certainly seems right. If Hibiki just continued to live as he was now, surely he wouldn't be able to cross over. What should we do?
ごめんなさい。こんなことに巻き込んで。
What do you mean, wrapped up?
もしあなたの思い一つで彼岸花の色を消せたのだとしたら、思い直してもいいんです。そうしてください。僕はあなたが無事に写し終え帰れるのが何よりも幸せだから。
Before I felt like he didn't want me to go home, though. He really wants me to be able to return home from the bottom of his heart. Feeling that warmth emanating from him, I couldn't help but feel happy, and yet, I'm okay really. With the flowers I got from Saya, I can stay here a little longer.
でも、
In the same way that you care about me, Hibiki, I care about you too. I interrupted him and told him this. Maybe this is me being selfish, but this is something I want to do. So please, don't worry so much about me. I wasn't just saying that to ease Hibiki's fears. That's how I really feel. If I returned to my world, I'd only worry about him. I didn't want to leave him alone. I wanted him to be happy.
あなたが手伝うと言ってくれたことだけでとても嬉しかったんです。あの時は感情を止められなくて手伝ってもらうことにしてしまったけど、でももういいんです。
What does he mean it's okay now?
あなたのおかげで一時でも心が晴れたのは確かですから。それだけで僕には十分すぎるくらいなんです。だからお願いです。考えを改めてください。
You say that, but
お願いです。あなたがまた倒れたら、そう思うと怖いんです。
oh, is that the reason Hibiki wants me to go home so badly? He was indeed very worried about me when I collapsed. In that case, how about we head to the nurse's office so I can rest a bit? I want to stay by your side a little longer, so this time, how about I rest before I get too tired and collapse? I bet saying this and taking more frequent rests will put him at ease. His expression remained dark, but I ignored him and stood up. So come on, let's go. If you don't come along, I'll just go without you. I was sure he'd stand up and come with me, but he just kept sitting there, showing no desire to move. I began walking the halls by myself. I can't believe he didn't come along. After that, I waited for a while, but Hibiki never came. In a daze, my consciousness came back to me. That's right. I came back to the nurse's office by myself. I was discouraged that Hibiki didn't come with me, so I decided to rest and close my eyes. How long was I asleep? I felt like I had dreamed something, but couldn't quite be sure. Whatever the dream was, I was glad it wasn't a nightmare. That's right. Before I fell asleep, I put the bag with the Khalifa flowers near my pillow. I raised myself up and began to look around. Next to my pillow, I saw the small bag, and
気分はどうですか？
Hibiki was there too. Good. I'm glad he came. The moment I saw his face, that nervous feeling crept back into my heart. His expression was normal, but his eyes were shaking, like he was still worried about me. I feel great. It seems like I just need to rest before my head starts to hurt.
それならよかったです。大観主様が言っていました。睡眠こそが今のあなたには最も重要だと。
That's right. I'll make sure to take frequent breaks from now on.
それは必要ないです。
Huh? Hibiki stared back at me, his face calm. Or I thought he was calm, but he turned away from me. What is it? This strange feeling. What is it?
それは僕が言わなくてもわかるんじゃないですか？
Could it be... Is he upset about what happened in the classroom? The relief in my heart turned ice cold. What should I do? Should I go home? Hibiki, do you want me to go home? Fearful of the answer, I asked him. The silence itself was frightening. Hibiki's gaze wandered for some time before he finally responded to me.
でもあなたは僕を成仏させないと帰れないじゃないですか。プリントの彼岸花から一つ色が消えてまだそのままですよね。
Technically, that's true, but I felt my heart sink in my chest. I'm not here because I can't go home. I'm here because I don't want to go home. I couldn't understand why he was suddenly being so cold to me. Are you upset about what happened in the classroom?
どうしてですか？
You're being so cold to me now. The minute I said those words, his face changed into a wide smile.
そんなことないですよ。大好きなあなたに冷たくするなんて僕は絶対にしません。
It was obvious to me his words were not genuine. That I care about you sounded different. Realizing my own emotions, I found myself shocked. I was always taken for granted that Hibiki cares about me. I was so relieved. I would never have thought he would react like that. How selfish of me. I've been taking advantage of his feelings. All I could think to do was apologize quickly.
それじゃあまた僕の幸せ探しをしましょう。多分これできっと見つかります。
Huh? Hibiki, does that mean you know what it is that will make you happy?
はい。
I was filled with joy as Hibiki nodded back at me.
じゃあ行きましょうか。
With a bright smile, Hibiki opened the door to the nurse's office. With the way things were before I fell asleep, it didn't seem like he'd be able to find what makes him happy so easily. Thinking about it rationally, it all seemed a little strange. No, I should trust him.
行かないんですか？
Of course I am. Hibiki walked one step ahead of me, his stride brimming with determination. So, where are we going?
行けばわかりますよ。
That was all he said, and he kept walking. But it was rather quick, wasn't it? With only the sound of his footsteps between us, I broke the silence and asked him.
そう感じましたか？
Yes, I never expected you to find what makes you happy so quickly.
あなたが眠っている間、ずっと考えていたんです。僕 あなたが眠っている間、ずっと考えていたんです。僕の幸せは何かって。
Suddenly he stopped. Then he turned and looked back at me.
ずっと目の前にあったのに、近すぎて気づけなかった。
At that moment, I felt goosebumps on my skin.
一人で考えて、ようやくわかりました。僕がどうすればいいかって。
His eyes, his expression, were something that... There was something there that scared me. Why is he thinking like this? I couldn't rid myself of the feeling that this wasn't the person I'd been with until now.
意外と幸せって気づかないようなところにあるんですよね。
I feel pretty happy in my everyday life now. You said that before, right?
はい。本当にその通りだったんです。
As he spoke, I started to think, what is Hibiki thinking right now? Where is he taking me?
もう少しですよ。
Wanting to know his true intentions, I kept speaking to him, and yet I couldn't understand his true feelings or intentions. We finally arrived at the stairs. This place? This place has something to do with what will make you happy?
ええ。とってもあるんです。思い出してみてください。
Remember? Does this have something to do with me?
もちろんですよ。
A fearful, beautiful, chilling smile appeared on Hibiki's face. Step after step, he came closer and closer. Hibiki? His smile filled me with dread, so I took one step back from him.
僕のこと、成仏させてくれるんですよね。
He quickly closed the gap between us. This isn't the Hibiki I know.
聞こえてますか？僕のこと、成仏させてくれるんですよね。
Yes, but... Hibiki took another step towards me. Without turning my eyes away from his, I took another step backwards. I felt my hands and back press against the cool, firm wall behind me. The mirror. That's right. Here on the landing, the mirror should be behind me, right? I should have been able to pass through here. But now...
黙ってるだけじゃわかりませんよ。
In front of me, I saw a depressed-looking Hibiki. I've been locked in here. Passing through the world required Hibiki's permission. In other words, the only thing that could keep me trapped in this world was Hibiki.
あなたが僕の思いを受け止めてくれること。
He was so close that if I stood up even slightly taller, I could feel his breath on me.
だから感じさせて、その唇で。だから感じさせて、その唇であなたのぬくもりを。
His pale, mask-like face and white lips drew closer to me. In response, I accept his feelings. I've got to get my head on straight. If this is what he needs to cross over, I wanted to accept his wishes. I gently placed my hand on his chest, then I felt a cool breath on my lips, but no matter how long I waited, his kiss never came.
なんで拒否しないんですか？
We were so close. If either of us moved an inch, our lips would meet. And yet Hibiki's face contorted with frustration. That was the face of the kind boy I'd come to know.
ここで拒否しないと僕に触れてしまうのに。僕が あなたのぬくもりを奪ってしまうかもしれないのに。
His voice shouting at me from so close I couldn't help but tremble. I'm scared, but this fear was different from before. I'll be all right. It's what you want, right? In that case, I suppose a little is all right.
でもそれじゃあなたが。
I don't mind, even if it shortens my life. That's okay. I surprised even myself with the words that came out of my mouth. Is that it? Finally, I understood how I felt about him. I'd become rather taken with him after all.
どうして。
Once I acknowledged it, I realized the emotion fit perfectly with how I felt.
どうしてそこまで僕のことを。おかしいですよ。
We were in a slightly awkward position. Our skin never touched. But I could tell from his reaction this wasn't what he wanted. But if this is what was needed to help Hibiki pass over, it's not crazy. I just want you to be happy. I pressed my lips on top of his. I felt his cold, soft lips on mine, but his lack of warmth made him all the more dear to me. Even though our lips were touching, I felt a chill run through me. Then suddenly... The hate in his heart entered my brain. This feeling... I felt myself being pushed away when my whole vision turned red.
ありがとう。
Opening my eyes, I saw him looking down at me through the mirror.
これで成仏できそうです。
He's lying. The smile on his face masked the pain he was feeling just below the surface. Wait, Hibiki!
さようなら。
The mirror flashed and his figure disappeared. Then the only thing I saw in the mirror was my own reflection. No. I touched the surface of the mirror, my hand merely pressed against the cold glass. Is it just a regular mirror again? Did Hibiki shut me out? No, that wasn't it. Maybe he really has crossed over? Hibiki? For a moment I stared in front of the mirror, motionless, deep in thought. For some time after that, I merely stared at the mirror, deep in thought. It appeared to be nothing more than an ordinary mirror. It didn't betray the slightest hint of what had become of Hibiki. A wraith could appear here at any moment. For now, I should get to safety. Walking alone in the blood-red world, there was a buzzing in the air that pricked my skin and left me uncomfortable. Somewhere along the line, I got used to the mirror world's silence. Maybe that's not right. I had gotten used to being next to Hibiki. I need to stop with these dark thoughts. First things first, I should try and find Kudaha and Yui. Suppressing my anxiety, I made my way to the nurse's office. There, I found only Yui. Looking around, I saw no sign of Kudaha.
ずっと気になっていたのよ。その後、どう？響さんの様子は。
Well, he crossed over. At least, I think he did.
かもしれないって。
Perhaps seeing my depressed face, Yui's expression changed slightly as well.
確実ではないの？
I just don't know. He said that he thought he was going to cross over soon, but I didn't see it with my own eyes. I thought about going back to the mirror to check, but it suddenly became a normal mirror.
そう。そんなに悲観的な顔をするものではなくてよ。無事に成仏できたから、鏡の中の世界ごと消えたという可能性もあるのではないかしら。
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe Hibiki really did cross over. But if that were the case, what did I see when we kissed? Perhaps it's like what Saya said before. Right. For the thoughts of the ghost to reach me, certain conditions needed to be met. When you touch a ghost, you can see their thoughts, right? His regrets were strong. Hey, Yui, do you remember what Saya said before? About how if I touched a ghost who has strong regrets, they would pass on to me?
そうね。そんな話はしていたと思うわ。ただ、私がはっきり覚えているのは、闇に染まっていない思念なら危険ではないというところくらいで。
Hmm? Come to think of it, when I touched Hibiki, I didn't have the same headache or difficulty breathing I had before. So Hibiki overcame the darkness within him. Uh-huh, but his regret was that he wanted to be happy. He said so himself. If he was happy when he was kissing me, where did those negative thoughts come from? I thought back to the emotions I had felt for the first time he touched me. I'm scared. It'll be okay. I have to die. It was things like that, right? Those words were about finding a way to be happy and not being killed. That's why he killed himself. But those feelings were different than what I just heard. Hate. That was clearly what he said. The visions I had seen were brimming with intense hatred. Could it be that... What is really holding him back? Does that mean Hibiki's been lying to me?
ねえ、響さんが成仏したのかわからないのなら、これから確かめに。
Before, when he told me about the time that he was kidnapped by Isao Skigami, he told me he wanted to kill him. Thinking about that was the only joy I had in that dark place. Is that what will make him happy? In that case, Hibiki's real regret is... My mind drifted to the worst possible conclusion, and the blood drained from my face.
ねえ、聞いているの？
Sorry, I got lost in my own thoughts. Listen, leave Hibiki to me. I think I've come up with a great solution.
わかったわ。手伝ってほしいことがあったらいつでも頼ってね。
Right, thanks. But there's no way he can kill him. I mean, Hibiki's a ghost now. Huh? Speaking of which, where is Isao Skigami? Everything happened because he was searching for his lost daughter. Given the circumstances, I hesitated to ask Yui directly, but I knew I had no other choice. Yui, I'm sorry to ask you this, but did your father pass away already? The look on her face changed, and she cast her gaze downward.
今、私の父は生前において大量に人を殺した。その罪で地獄で罰を受けているのよ。刑期が終わるまで魂が持てば地獄を出てこられるけれど、罰に耐えきれず魂が壊れてしまえば二度目の死を迎える。
What do you mean, a second death?
無になるのよ。本当の意味でどの世からも消えるの。
That... I was surprised, but so frightened by the prospect I was unable to speak. I had no idea what to say to Yui either.
刑期は何百年と気が遠くなるほどの期間だから、出てこられたとしてもまだまだ先のことよ。
Saya had said something similar. The punishment in hell would fit the gravity of the crime. Given how close Hibiki is to Saya, there's no doubt Saya would have told him that Isao Skigami is in hell. In that case, why not place Hibiki somewhere other than the school? I wouldn't want to be anywhere near the place I was kidnapped. That can't be good for his mental state.
それは僕がここを選んだんです。
That's right. At that time, when I asked why he was staying so close to where Isao Skigami was, Saya was about to say something before Hibiki interjected. So, if your father's spirit is released, does that mean he'll return to this school?
そうね。断定はできないけれど、父にとって思い出の場所だから、その可能性は高いと思うわ。
Then that means Hibiki's waiting for Isao Skigami to be released from hell. Did he want to give Isao Skigami a second death? So then, all that stuff about crossing over, all of that was a lie? Thinking back on it, it made sense why Hibiki was trying to get me to go home.
ねえ、今の質問は響さんに関わることなの？
No. No, it's not that. I just happened to run into a ghost on the way here that was a little strange. It got me thinking, you know.
まだ廊下をさまよっているかもしれない。探しに行ってくるわ。
Despite my embarrassingly bad lie, Yui left the room with a serious look on her face. Sorry, Yui, but I just couldn't tell you that Hibiki wants to kill your father. Besides, I still didn't know for sure. I should go speak with Hibiki. Hibiki, come out. You're still in the mirror, aren't you? I want to talk to you. Please just come out. I continued to call out from him in front of the mirror, pounding on it with my fist. But not once did I receive any sort of reply, nor could I find a way inside the mirror. But I know Hibiki's still in there. I concentrated with all my strength and placed my hand on the mirror, and I felt something beyond the cold, hard glass. What was that? I felt some kind of faint pulsating coming from it. That must have been some sign of him. That is, unless I just imagined it. Either way, I couldn't give up. I wouldn't give up. Listen, Hibiki, I'm not going home until you come out of here. I continued screaming into the mirror, but nothing changed.
一体何を騒いでいる？
Suddenly, I heard a voice from behind me and spun around to face it.
悪霊に襲われたいのか？
Ah, Kudaha.
こんなところに一人でどうしたんだ？響と喧嘩でもしたのか？
Well, not exactly, but I feel like it would be okay to tell Kudaha all the details, but I knew that if we talked here, there was a chance that Hibiki might be able to hear us through the mirror. Well, can we go somewhere without a mirror? I asked in a small voice, and Kudaha nodded back to me.
ここなら鏡はなかったと思うが。
Sorry, I go to the school and I wasn't even sure which rooms do and don't have a mirror.
教室の場所ならともかく、鏡までは把握していないだろう。
I sat down in a chair facing him. I bowed my head to Kudaha. Actually, I'm in a bit of trouble. It might take a while, but would you mind hearing me out?
なあ、もちろんだ。
I don't think Hibiki was able to cross over, but he wouldn't respond to me anymore. Kudaha listened quietly until I had finished telling him everything. Then, with a difficult expression on his face, he finally spoke.
そういうことだったか。なんとなく想像はしてたが。
Really?
響から暗いものを感じたことが少しあってな。だが、お前と接するうちに、だんだんとそれを感じなくなっていった。
The more time he spent around me?
なあ、お前のおかげで、響の闇が薄らいでいるように思う。おそらく、月神功を撃つことよりも、大事なものを見つけたのだろう。お前だ。
If that was true, it would make me very happy. If I could be a presence that brought him closer to the light. Well, that might be a bit presumptuous of me.
だから安心していたところはある。お前なら、響の抱える闇を晴らし、成仏させてやれるのではと。
Hibiki had told me so much. Perhaps that too had helped lessen the darkness that he'd struggled with. But all I can do is listen to him. I can't really help him cross over. Besides, he didn't even seem to want to cross over. That's why he hid his true intentions. Knowing him, because he cared about me, he didn't want to tell me his real reason for staying here. That's what I thought. And yet, I couldn't help but be a little shocked. No, that was just him being selfish.
ならば、今度はお前の強さを見せる時だな。
ん？
心残りの成就まで頼るわけにはいかないと思い、響はお前を遠ざけたのだろう。ならば、その認識を改めさせるのだ。お前は頼れるものなのだと見せつけてやれ。
Honestly, the kiss I gave him felt like it took a lot of courage on my part already. That act was proof that I trusted him. What else could I do to get him to trust and believe in me? To make him trust me. I can't be weak. I have to find a way to force him out of the mirror.
ようやくお前らしい言葉が出てきたな。その意気だ。
I have no doubt he's watching us through the mirror, so how can I make him want to come out?
ならば俺にいい考えがある。ただし、お前が本当に強くなければなせないことだ。覚悟はあるか？
Yes, I know I can. With that, Kuroha's eyes gleamed and he smiled brightly. What's with that smile? Kuroha? Just what do you have in mind? Without a second thought, I dashed up the stairs.
待て！待てと言っているんだ！
I have to get to the mirror. I just have to get to the mirror. I was never much of an athlete, but I flew up the stairs as though I was running for my life.
お前のせいで七不思議の花が染まっていない。かくなる上は命をもって償え。
Ah, he took the sword out? He didn't tell me about that. I can't run anymore. Huh? When I reached the bottom of the second floor, I tripped over myself and fell to the floor. This is bad. I should have run a little bit more. Kneeling on the floor, I turned to see Kuroha, who stared at me with one eyebrow raised.
ようやく観念したか。
I've got to get back up. A smile crept on his face, and I saw him prepare his blade for the final blow.
お前を葬れば、俺の気も少しは晴れよう。
No, please, someone save me.
そんなに叫んでも誰も来るまい。ここにはお前を助ける者などいないのだからな。
Standing above me, he raised the blade higher and higher above his head. Hibiki, are you not coming? Hibiki. Just then... Hibiki! He stepped in between Kuroha and me, stopping the blade with his arm.
あなたがどうして彼女にこんなことを。
Hibiki stared furiously back at Kuroha. Now's my chance. Immediately, I hugged his legs. Perhaps because of the force of my embrace, he toppled over right then and there. I've got you.
作戦成功だな。苦しそうに走る迫真の演技、見事だった。
演技？
That wasn't an act. I was running so hard I was in pain. Also, you didn't tell me you were going to chase me with your sword.
サプライズというやつだ。その方が真に迫っているだろ。
That was a little too real. In the midst of our conversation, Hibiki just looked back and forth at us with a puzzled look on his face.
ちょっと待ってください。今のは何だったんですか？
Sorry, but I had to find a way to get you to come out of the mirror. Kuroha came up with the idea for this production.
なかなかの名演技だったろう。
ひどいです。僕を引っ掛けるなんて、嘘をつくなんてありえない。
Well, then that makes us even. Hibiki, looking taken aback, flinched and trembled.
俺ができるのはここまでのようだな。あとはお前に託す。
Thank you, Kuroha.
響、鏡に逃げ込もうなどと考えるなよ。俺が前で見張っているからな。
As I watched Kuroha retreat back, I pulled my hands off Hibiki and stood up. Hibiki, sit there.
はい。
Seeing him shivering like that, I felt a little bad for him, but if I let him escape here now, I won't be able to pull another trick like that again. I have to get Hibiki to listen to me right here and now. So, the whole reason you did that whole act was to scare me back to the real world.
それはだって
No excuses. You're trying to send me back to my world, right? Yes or no?
その通りです。まさかこんなに怒るなんて怖い。
If I'm angry, it's because you wouldn't trust me, Hibiki. This was because you were worried about me, right? You didn't tell me about your real regrets because you didn't want me to get wrapped up in them. Hibiki didn't answer me right away. He just looked perplexed. Right?
はい、そうです。
So it was just as I thought. Hibiki was always trying to help me. He wanted me to get back to my world. That was the reasoning for everything. Upon understanding the cold hard truth, I felt a warmth spread through my chest. Well, thank you. For worrying about me, that is. As I crouched down, extending my hand towards him, Hibiki, who was still on his knees, looked up at me, puzzled. It's fine if you touch me, Hibiki. I know your regrets. They don't come from a place of darkness or evil. That's why when we kissed, my head didn't hurt, and I didn't feel any pain.
いいんですか？
Hibiki nervously took my hand. A cool sensation spread across my palm. It's all right. It'll be all right. I gripped his hand with all my might. Oh, I'm a poet. I didn't know it, apparently. All right, why don't we stop it there? This is meowmurai. You've been watching 9-RIP running on Nintendo Switch 2. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream.